Say it one more time.
Jimmy Roberts. He was 5'5". He had a kid on the team, and he thought his shit didn't stink. Well, Jimmy, look where Jaxon is now.
Boom! Hello, and welcome to another episode of Jaxon Talks, everybody, with your host, me, Jaxon Stone, and I am joined by my favorite person on planet Earth, my mother, my sweet mom. You saw her on a previous episode where I had my father here as well, and I kind of gave you like an introduction to how great my parents were, kind of my upbringing, why I am the way that I am. But I got such positive reviews from that episode that I decided to bring my mom back on. We're going to answer a few more questions that I received from some fans and some other people, and we're just going to chat, get to know me a little bit more in depth from the stories that my mom has of my childhood and stuff. Hey Mom, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Sounds good?
You doing good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so we're just going to start, we're going to start quickly.
I mean, I have many stories, but
Yeah?
yeah, let's just do a couple.
Okay, so we were, just before I forget, off camera we were talking about some of my coaches that I've had kind of throughout my life. And so I'm going to ask you, who were a couple of your favorite coaches that I had, and maybe one of your least favorite coaches that I've ever had.
Yeah, well, to back up on that story a little bit, I knew Aaron was a great athlete. I had him in many sports, but I knew baseball he was going to be very good. I probably knew at about 10 when he was on this all-star team. And everything I did with Aaron, it was all male. Everything was male. I was the only woman, male. So it was tough. But the boy was on a all-star team, and we had this coach.
We were still living in California at the time.
Yeah, we had this coach who hated me.
Mm-hmm.
Was the worst coach ever. His name is Jimmy Roberts. Did I say Jimmy Roberts?
Say it one more time.
Jimmy Roberts. He was 5'5". He had a kid on the team, and he thought his shit didn't stink. Well, Jimmy, look where Jaxon is now.
Boom!
Then we were on many teams. Aaron, Jaxon and I traveled a lot.
So much.
A lot. It was fun. Some of his favorite coaches we had was Scott Jacobs.
Oh yeah.
We had Ruben. We had Keith. We had Brian.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of great coaches, but Jimmy Roberts
was the worst by far.
Wonder what you're doing now.
So I have a question on that, Mom. So you were when we lived in California, you were heavily involved in specifically running the Little League program for the whole city of Foster City. You even had your own team. You coached your own team.
Yeah, I never coached Aaron. He was well. I didn't think he needed me. He was too good.
And we just didn't like having the parent coach player on the team dynamic. It's one difficult to navigate. And my mother never wanted me to get playing time or be rewarded for something that I didn't absolutely earn on my own, which I think is a valuable lesson that I've taken with me. But so you were the only woman who was coaching a team on their own basically, and you were the only woman kind of on the board. Yes. And like doing all this stuff.
Yes.
So how hard was it for you to navigate and earn respect from the other fathers in a mostly male-oriented organization?
Well, since the way I grew up, I only grew up with males, not really females, and I just understood that the world was for males, and I knew how to fit in. I understood how males think, how they don't think like women, and I just actually, besides the one or two that were whatever, I really, I knew what I was doing. I followed without making myself be too good to them, making them think it was their idea. It's kind of the same as the world is now with girls. But I was strong and I was good, and
you were extremely confident in what you were doing.
Yeah, I just made it work. I made them think a lot of it was their ideas. I ran things. I did my team. We won, of course, because it was my team. Did the recruiting. It's very difficult, but very rewarding.
How much do you think things have changed now from back then to now? I mean, I was like
that was
10.
In the 80s.
I was 10.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was in the 90s.
Yeah, so it was like 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot more women in sports now doing a lot of really good things.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything was bad then. I mean, women,
it was just more difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very difficult now to get into male-dominated industries, but I think the talent of the women is being looked at with more importance and be able to give them those spots that they deserve and they earn, rather than just saying, oh, they're a woman, they should get it. They should get it because they're good enough and they, have the ability to do the same thing, I think.
Yes, if they work hard.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You have to work hard.
If they really work hard.
You can't just be handed things. Yeah.
Women shouldn't just get things from Title IX to Me Too movement to give to a woman. If you work hard, you can't be a football player if you're a woman, but if you work hard and you're going in the office or you're going to do this and you're doing the same, I think you should get it. Yeah. Not backwards way, which a lot of women think they should.
It's based on merit. It should always be based on merit. Yeah. And everyone should be given an equal slice.
Yeah. If it's a man and woman job.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Okay, cool. Yeah. Old Jimmy Roberts. What a guy. On the subject of sports, someone asked, what's your favorite accomplishment of mine?
There was many, but I thought about this a little bit. There's many, but there was a lot of work Jaxon and I did on everything. But we were in Texas. He was on a great high school team. Great. Did a lot of great stuff on that. But probably one of the top things is when he went to D1 University. Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was a long, hard struggle to get there, because there was at points where I didn't think I was going to be able to play Division I.
I mean, we were in California. There was no good sports there. One of the reasons we moved to Texas was for better sports. And when you have things that are real better, it's pros and cons, because you got to work harder. Schools are better. This is better, so you got to work harder. And we did our best, and that was probably he went to South Dakota State University, which...
Go Jackrabbits.
My God, great. But to follow up on that thing, another great thing besides D1 is when we were playing summer ball. You play summer ball in between college if you're good enough. Not a lot of kids did, but Jaxon was good enough. We went to Milwaukee, which is one of the number 1, 2 best summer leagues ever, and one of the shining moments was a grand slam. Yeah,
so if you're a college baseball player, in the summer you usually go to some sort of team, and there's a bunch of leagues all over the country to kind of enhance your skills and stuff. And there's like 2 really top leagues. There's the Cape Cod League, which is in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. That's like for the top guys. And then there's one right underneath that called the Northwoods League, which I was fortunate enough to be able to play in the summer before my senior year, basically right outside of Milwaukee. And then, yeah.
And it was a great story, too, because when these summer leagues, they kind of tell you the last seconds, unless you're pitchers, you're an all-star pitcher, but in college he wasn't a pitcher. So we were always driving. We drove from Florida to San Diego to Kansas to Milwaukee. We've always been driving. But anyway, we were driving in Kansas.
We were driving to San Diego.
To get a phone call, because we thought maybe we're playing San Diego. We're in the middle of Kansas. There's no internet. We're trying to get a phone call. I think we're starving. We're laughing. We're out of gas. We can't get cell. We start freaking out. And we have to drive to some McDonald's to get self-service to get the phone call that he's going to Milwaukee.
So we stopped, turned around, went right back in the same direction we came from.
Yeah, it was a great moment, but we had to drive, how many hours?
So far. So that's like we started in South Dakota, right? And then we were on our way to San Diego. And then we got a call while we were somewhere. And then we flipped around and then drove all the way back to Milwaukee.
Yeah, another shining moment, because we get along obviously very, very well. So we had a lot of fun. I mean, we have the same kind of idiosyncrasies and manners and crazy and not crazy and eat. And so, 2 days later we get there and boom.
She has to pee too much when we're on the road.
Yes. It bothers her.
But we took so many road trips together. I think it easily prepared me for all the drives I did when I got to wrestling.
And we liked it.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so that grand slam was a good little timer.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a fun summer.
It was and we've never been there, so it's the Midwest.
Nice, yeah.
And one thing about South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, the Midwest people, I'm not saying they're better than the South, but boy, they're just wonderful people.
They're very nice.
Very wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And I had wonderful host parents. Cindy.
Oh, Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy was great.
Yeah, she was terrific.
I watched I lost a bet that summer that I had to go watch a scary movie. And if you know anything about me, you know that I cannot do horror. It's like really, 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 really scares me. And I got home one night after losing this bet and watching this movie, and Cindy could like visibly see that there was like something was really bothering me, because I was like still shooken up from the movie. And she asked me what's wrong. I was like, just plain and simple, I saw a horror movie, and I'm not doing well. And so she basically let me sleep with all the lights on in the house. My door was open, and the dog slept with me, and I felt very good. And I needed to do that for a couple nights, but she was really cool about it.
Yeah, and I know Cindy's going to watch this. Thank you, Cindy.
So that's a perfect segue into a question that someone had. Is why am I so scared of horror movies? Do you know? Is it because you are?
Well,
or just because I like Halloween, right? And I like dressing up.
Halloween is our best.
But I don't like anything scary.
But you don't like fireworks. You don't like scare. I think it's just because I don't like it. And yeah, maybe I never took you to anything when you were really young.
We never went to like haunted houses.
No, so I don't know. It's just maybe because I have it, you have it.
But I was just like, I've always liked dressing up, but I never dressed up as anything scary or spooky.
No.
Halloween for me wasn't really about the scary or spooky. It was about just dressing up and eating candy, which basically is now what I do every day of my life.
I mean, you were Power Ranger many times.
I think I was the White Power Ranger for like 10 straight years.
Yeah. I mean, we had Power Ranger birthdays.
Oh yeah, the White Ranger came over to the house.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Just one of those things.
Just one of those things. Yeah. What movie was it? I don't even remember.
I know.
Okay.
We like death and destruction. We don't like horror.
Yeah, like John Wick movies. Those are good.
Oh yeah, death and destruction. And that I started you very early with the guns. Yeah.
The same person who said, "What's your favorite accomplishment of mine?" also wanted me to let you know that he thinks you're a boss.
Thank you, Andy.
It's not Andy.
Oh.
Not Andy.
Oh, what was it?
Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice guy from lives in the Virginia area.
We love all fans. We want more fans.
Okay, so we've got a few more questions. Embarrassing Jaxon Stone moment. I don't know. That's on you, Mom.
Embarrassing? I don't know if embarrassing, but he had some funny ones. We were at when he was in high school. It's before he drove because he's a young, so he didn't drive till his junior year. So I drove him everywhere, and he wrestled in the morning, and they played baseball in the afternoon. And then of course we were on 2 other baseball teams too. How did he get his homework done? He's very smart, and he always got his homework done. So in between one of these drivings, after wrestling and school, I would take him. We'd go have a little coffee and snack before he went to baseball. And one day, this is before, and he didn't also, this was just me. I didn't let him have a cell phone until he was driving either. So I know everybody out there has a cell phone. It's 6, but I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So he didn't have a cell phone, and then he tells me I lost my keys. So I'm in the car, we're looking here, we're looking in the apartment, we're looking this, I mean, hours. Finally, opened his baseball bag next to his balls, and there were his keys to the house. I don't know if it's embarrassing, it's just something funny.
Yeah. I don't know if it's an embarrassing story, but I have a story about myself.
He kind of loses things a little bit without losing them.
Yeah, I lose them, but I don't actually lose them. I just feel like I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
So I think it was in high school, and I tend to sometimes get some nightmares when I'm sleeping, just like anybody else. Whatever, it's fine.
Big thinkers.
My mind keeps racing, whatever. So I'm sleeping upstairs in my room, and my room is set up where I have like my bed's here, and then like to the left.
Oh, this is good.
And to the left is like this big window. And so I'm sleeping, right, having a nice sleep. In my nightmare, or in my dream, whatever you want to call it, someone breaks into the house. I see them. I kick them in the face. For those wrestling fans out there, probably like a bicycle kick to the face. Guy goes away. I save the day. About maybe eight seconds later, I wake up and like I feel this like sharp breeze come in the room. My foot isn't feeling good. It's like hurting. And I'm like, what happened? So I look over the side of my bed, and there's like some glass on the floor. And I stand up get up on my bed, and I look at my window, and my window's shattered. And I'm like, oh no. So apparently what had happened was, in the nightmare, when I thought was happening is I actually stood up in my bed, and I bicycle kicked my window. And that was like in the middle of the night. I think I came downstairs to tell my parents. And I think the funniest part was I was like, hey, I punted my window and it's broken. And my dad just goes, don't care, go back to bed. And then obviously we dealt with the situation in the morning. But That's one of my funnier stories, I think.
Yeah. Yes, it was a wrestling move, and yes, we moved the bed.
That's funny.
It was kind of funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for another question?
I am.
Best Mother's Day present.
Best Mother's Day present.
We always did the same thing every year.
Every year, since it was my choice, the four of us would go to a play.
Mm-hmm.
I usually liked a play that was
You love the
a musical.
Mm-hmm.
So we always did, and then we did dinner after, or we did lunch before, and
great, always good.
Best ever.
Yeah, we'll do that here soon.
Yeah. Sometimes, if there wasn't a play, which sometimes it just wasn't a play to go to, we didn't go to a movie. We either had a brunch and then a nice meal, but usually a play and meal.
I remember always going to a play.
Yeah, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
But then, schedules got a little different. Like I moved went to college.
Yeah, we got older, and
yeah.
that was when we were young.
But we'll do something now. So it's right now. It's Sunday, March 1st. I have a lot of episodes backed up, so this one probably won't come out till May, but it'll come out after Mother's Day, which is May 10th, right? Yeah, it's May 10th. So I'm sure I'll take Mom out to go see a play and have a nice meal. Maybe we'll bring Dad too. We'll see.
Dad always comes.
Chewy's not here right now. I know you guys are like super excited to see Chewy, but he's on a walk. He's taking his mid-afternoon walk with my father. Yeah. So that's cool. I think another thing of note, this house that we're in right now is obviously the house that we moved into when we moved here from California. So we've been here in this house since
04.
04. Obviously, I bought a condo, so I've been living in that for the past few months since I moved back to Texas from Philadelphia. And my parents just sold this house. They're moving into their new place at a Del Webb community, which is awesome, in a few days. So when this episode drops, this house will have been sold, and my parents will be living in a new place, which I will probably end up going there and filming an episode there, just so you guys can kind of see it. Yeah, so it's exciting times.
Very
exciting times. I got a new place. They got a new place. It's good stuff. Okay. Something that Jaxon doesn't know about you. Oh, I don't know.
What would Jaxon not know about me?
I don't know. My mom and I are very close.
We're very close. He knows everything.
We're very close. We've done a lot of stuff together, traveled a lot together.
Yeah, we talk.
We're very open with our communication, hence why I believe in being open and honest about how you feel, because my mom was very open and honest with me about my feelings and stuff like that.
I don't think there is anything.
Yeah.
If there is, I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know, yeah.
I mean, it's a good question. I just don't think there is anything.
I mean, maybe
I'm sure there is.
Small details from your childhood, but...
Oh, there's plenty in my childhood I probably haven't told you, but I don't want to, obviously.
Yeah.
It wasn't that fun.
No.
It wasn't great.
But I think that's very inspiring, because my mother had a very tough childhood, but a lot of things like that, when you have a tough childhood, you have kids and you redistribute, sometimes, not all the time, you redistribute kind of that pain and trauma you had from your childhood onto your kids, not purposefully, just because that's just how that's how it works. My mom, super strong-willed, pretty much went the opposite. Decided I'm not going to treat my kids the way that I was treated, and she obviously became an incredible mom, and instilled so many values in me that now I'm using obviously every day in my life, and it's part of the reason why I'm talking about the stuff that I'm talking about, and on this kind of mission and purpose to open the conversation up about mental health, because my mom and father were very willing to always talk to me about anything that I was dealing with, whether it was like getting bullied at school or what kind of sports I wanted to play, so that's always been really fantastic, and I'm grateful for that. But you've always had, whether you were playing sports or talking about doing things in the community or with the synagogue or with me, you've always had an attitude of I'm going to do it, I'm all in.
Yeah, all in.
Where was that attitude developed from? Just like something that you believed in, or?
Yeah, it was just me. It certainly wasn't growing up. I had zero growing up. Zero parents, zero anything going. So I just believed if you want to do something, it's the same thing. If you want to do something, do it well. Don't complain. Don't think about the past. Do it. Because failure, and failure are part of life, always.
Yeah, it's very important.
Now, if you've had a rosy life so far, God bless you. God bless you. I want to meet you.
Yeah, come over.
Come on over. Let's be friends. But failure makes you better. Is it hard? Yes. I just always had that, and I instilled it in Jackson, and he does it also.
Yeah.
You fall, and you may fall 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
And believe me, playing baseball, you might have fallen 2 million times.
Especially in baseball, yeah.
All you do is fail in baseball. In fact, you get 3 hits out of 10, you're supposed to be happy with yourself.
It's very difficult to understand.
It's very hard to think about that. You get a 300 average, but you strike out 7 times, but you got 3 great little hits.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And no errors, of course, but I don't know,
it's just something you develop.
Something developed, not till about college.
Because back to the...
starting to think about college, I started getting into my own, yeah.
Because back to the Jimmy situation, I was extremely unhappy on the team with Jimmy. I wasn't getting any playing time. It was extremely unfair. It was Little League. We were 9 years old. Whatever. It shouldn't be that. I loved baseball, but it was making me not like it at the time.
Yeah.
And my parents knew this because obviously they were unhappy with Jimmy as well because he was not a good person. And I wanted to quit. But they're like, no, you signed up for the season. You told the team you would be there in every game and you would play through the season. You're going to finish the season. Mm-hmm. We don't have to ever play with Jimmy again, but you're going to finish the commitment that you started. And I think that's an important value to understand.
And it was hard.
But I made a commitment to that team, and I saw it all the way through.
I don't believe me. When he played, because you had to play minimum then, he was quite good. But Jimmy had the hate, in baseball and all coaches, he had a lot of coaches that were tough on him.
Yeah.
But I always told him, when they're tough on you, it makes you better. And he learned that. I mean, your college coaches, your high school coaches would yell at you. You get a 650 average. Jackson, you could have had one more hit.
Yeah.
I mean, they would say that.
Coaches have a very unique job of trying to understand how each player responds.
And it did work for him, but we have to talk about it.
Sometimes the player responds to being yelled at. Sometimes he wants to be talked to quietly on the side. Sometimes his teammates motivating him. So coaches have a unique responsibility of trying to understand each player and how they get motivated.
The good coaches.
Yeah, the good coaches take time.
And when the good coaches don't, you have to figure out how it works for you.
Right.
It's the same thing with all jobs.
Self-motivation.
Yes, all jobs. The world is not here to coddle just you. There's 1 billion people here.
Well said, Mom.
Thank you.
That's kind of the approach you took when you had your shoe stores, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah,
I very successful.
Yeah, I had 21 years of 2 shoe stores. I worked very hard.
Yeah, you were a business owner.
Small
business owner.
Yeah.
Bit of an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur like you.
Just turned into what I'm doing with my brand and influence.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm good. That was nice. Well, there's no more questions to ask.
Very good.
We don't have any more questions.
Well, this wrestling and this journey of Jaxon Stone is fantastic. This week, we go to as many as we can, but this week alone, we went to 2 wonderful matches.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And we watched the other matches too, but it was a lot of fun. And the fans, this week we were in Carrollton, we were in Bedford. Jackson will be traveling everywhere. He's got a very, very busy schedule this year, which is good. Mm-hmm. And I'm beyond happy how successful he is and how great he's doing and his life is. He's an all-around entrepreneur, businessman. It's fabulous.
Thanks, Mom. I'm very grateful to have had parents the way that I had, especially my mom, because we've connected so much. And she showed me a lot of great things and done a lot of stuff for me. And I think undeniable support that she has for me has allowed me to just kind of be able to just jump in the deep end on anything that I've ventured into doing. And it's given me the confidence that even if I fail, still can get back up and keep trying because I know that I have support of my mom and dad. Luckily, I've been fairly successful in a lot of the things that I've ventured into, which is good. And I'm going into I'm in a newer, different better part of my career going forward now. I'm happy with the place that I've kind of settled in about who I am and what I want to become. And I'm very proud of that. And I'm just looking to continue it. But so, Mom, I think you should give like a PSA to all the people out there who are like you, never watched wrestling before, but are now wrestling fans because of me. But
I love it. Yeah, I love it all. I love the big story. I love the fans. I mean, I like thousands of screaming people. And if you knew me from baseball, screaming is something I love to do anyway. So in wrestling, you get to scream. So it's fantastic.
it's awesome.
It's fun. Yeah, we're all in.
Great family outing.
Yeah, it's great family. All people should go to wrestling.
Great family fun.
And buy a lot of Jaxon Stone stuff. I mean, you could.
Jaxon Stone merch. Look, my mom's a walking billboard.
Yeah.
She got this shirt right here is the very original Jaxon Stone shirt. Obviously not for sale anymore. This is a custom-made track jacket that I got for her. Snapback that I sold out of, but when this episode comes out, I'll probably have released a new dad hat, some socks, probably a new 3/4 sleeve, and an Everybody's Land T-shirt. So look out for that stuff when it drops on my website and my store. But thanks, Mom. Thanks
It's
for
been
coming
great,
on.
honey. Thank you very much.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Appreciate you all. Take care.